Hey, it's Elizabeth, Countess of Low Carb, and on this episode, we're going to interview Dr. Ken Berry coming up next. About 1 million questions, and if you're in our VIP group, the best way to get me questions is either to email me directly, because as a VIP member you get preferential question asking for our Facebook Lives. So if you have questions, either email me directly or message me on Facebook. That way I know that I can always add them to my question queue. But we have tons of questions tonight. If for some reason I don't ask your question, remind me for next time, and I happily will make sure that we get it in. Even if you're not in VIP, I definitely want to make sure we're asking questions tonight across the board. I've got tons of questions for you guys. So if you don't know me, hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm Countess of Low Carb. I've lost 50 pounds on the ketogenics diet. I'm a proud mama to a 2-year-old and also a proud wife. Try to be a good wife most of the time. But my other titles include being a serial entrepreneur. I'm pre-production for a TV show, and I have a book coming out. So that means I'm busy just like you guys. So Dr. Ken is on. Let me just double check my invitation here. On this video. Hi, Dr. Ken.
Well,
how are
hello,
you?
Countess. How are you?
I'm great. I was trying a new headset, and it was uncountessy, so I had to take it off. So it's happy Friday. How are you doing?
Had a busy day in the clinic this morning, seeing a bunch of patients, and now I'm home doing my second job, or third, or fourth. I can't remember.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot. Yeah. How are you?
You are amazing. I'm great. I'm doing great. We are in Virginia having 60 mile an hour per winds. So I'm hoping that my video and audio does not cut out on you, because trees are going down here, power's going down.
Oh, wow.
So
I hope you're safe.
Hopefully our audio will be good.
If
Yes, I literally was telling my husband that we will pull over at a gas station so I could do my Facebook Live with you. I wasn't going to miss it. So.
Nice. You're like under the sink doing the live. Yeah.
I was like, they have lighting there. So if I need lighting, I'm going to go to the gas station to borrow their lighting. So, well, everybody, if you're joining us, Dr. Ken Berry is the top keto expert. I have in the description above or below his #1 Amazon best-selling book. You need to go check it out. Lies My Doctor Told Me. It is an awesome, amazing book. Get it this weekend if you need something to read. I highly recommend it. Also, his YouTube channel, he is exploding with amazing educational material on there. Please go over there and click subscribe on his YouTube channel, and click subscribe on mine, Countess of Low Carb. We have tons of questions, Dr. Berry.
Let me ask a question first. I want everyone, I'm thinking if I can get my ADD under control. I'm thinking about doing an audible version of the book, and I can't decide whether I should do it whether I should read the book or whether I should hire a professional to do it. And I want everybody to let me know in the comments, do you think should I read the book, or should I hire a professional who, is like a professional voice person, or would you rather hear the book in my voice? I don't know.
Oh, that's a great question. Everybody comment below. The Countess has her thoughts, but I will keep my thoughts to myself. Everybody put below what you think.
Because I really want to know. I'm not sure.
Berry
I mean, obviously I want to do it and save the money, but then also I want it to be done well. I don't want it to be done like this right here. So...
It's my favorite part about you, though. It's one of my favorite parts about you. I love it.
So what's going on? Let's do some questions.
I love it. Let's do some questions. We're going to dive in. So I was giving the precursor of, we have a ton of questions tonight. If people are asking me questions, I will ask Dr. Ken. We will make sure it gets in the queue. I have everything documented that everyone's asked me, so we can make sure that we ask him appropriately. But we had several intermittent fasting questions per our conversation last time. So much so we had to make it into a 2-part episode, and this will be a 2-part episode as well on YouTube. So someone wrote, so when I went back, so I'm starting off with guns blazing, not really guns blazing, but it's a zinger. So starting off with a zinger. So I go back and I re-listen to Dr. Ken for some of the first part over and over. Dr. Berry mentions that he does IF, but says during his fasting windows, he drinks bulletproof coffee, which is very fat-dense coffee plus coconut or MCT oil and grass-fed butter. So I'm a little bit surprised that he says he's fasting when he's having his bulletproof coffee. So can you address this?
Well, that's an excellent question. And until you get to a certain point in the ketogenic way of eating and into intermittent fasting and actually understand what it is, that sounds out of place. That's not fasting, right? Because you're ingesting calories. And so the first thing you have to get under your belt is that even though you've been taught your entire life that calories count and calories matter, They don't count at all. They don't matter at all. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. So stop worrying about the calorie part if that's what it is. Now, secondly, the whole point of intermittent fasting and of the ketogenic diet is to keep your insulin level as low normal as you can possibly keep it. Anytime your insulin level elevates, you're not burning the fat on your booty. You're burning the carbs you ate, right? Or if you eat a ton of protein, that can raise your insulin level, and then you're gonna change the proteins into something you can burn. But when you eat or drink pure fat, it does bump your insulin level a tiny bit, but nowhere nearly as much as a carb or a protein. And so I don't load my bulletproof coffee up with, I don't put a little coffee with my butter, right? I put just enough butter so that I'm not hungry during the day, because the first thing you want to do with the ketogenic diet is keep your insulin level and keep it super low. The second thing you want to do is not be hungry. This is one of the very few diets that you can do this and lose a ton of weight and reap all of the other non-scale benefits from this diet and never be hungry. That's the beauty of the ketogenic diet, and that's the beauty of intermittent fasting if you do it correctly. Because what we're trying to do is lose weight. We're trying to do all that stuff. We're trying to lower our blood sugar. We're trying to lower our A1C. But what we're really trying to do, really, ultimately, is we're trying to prevent bad medical outcomes like heart attacks, strokes, and early death. We all want to live to be 120, but we also want to do it healthily, right? We want to be healthy and vigorous when we don't want to be 110 and be in the nursing home and have 4 people taking care of us. Nobody wants that. We want to be 110 and still running around getting in trouble, right? That's what we want. And so in order to do that, you have to do something that mimics fasting, because science has known for decades that if you truly fast, if you don't eat anything, you live 30 to 40% longer when you fast, or when you eat a severely calorie restricted diet and do that for years. But who wants to suffer like that for decades to add a decade? I don't. And so what we're doing is we're doing fasting mimicking. That's what we're doing. We're basically hacking our human system, because we know that if you fast any mammal or severely calorie restrict them, they live longer. We've done it with rats, with mice, with rabbits. We've done it with everything except a human, because you can't lock a human in a box and starve them. That's considered a crime. And so we can't ever do that. But we can do it in all the other mammals, and we've done it, and it's been proven that when you severely calorie restrict a mammal, they live 20, 30, 40, 50% longer. And so what we're trying to do is mimic that fasting. And so to do that, it looks like the biggest thing is to keep your insulin level super low and to keep your cortisol level very low normal, and to not be suffering and starving and miserable, because we want to be happy and live our life. Does that answer that adequately? Does that make sense? And so, yes,
for me it does. But
calories, but my body doesn't know what calories are, and neither does your body. Our bodies don't operate in calories; they operate in macros. And when you drink bulletproof coffee with a little fat in it, with a little grass-fed butter or a little MCT or coconut oil, you're barely touching your insulin level at all. And your glucose level is not going up at all, okay? If anything, it'll go down some. And that's the key. That's what everybody thinks is the key. And so the third thing I want to say about that is nobody really, really knows for sure. We've never been here before. We've never had this huge, ongoing, spontaneous experiment like we're having. But I can look back at all my patients over the last 13 years who've done the Weight Watchers diet or the Jenny Craig diet or the flexitarian diet or the Ornish diet. They were miserable. They were hungry. They were tired. They were cold. It sucked. And they did it and lost 10 pounds for a month or two. And then they're like, screw this. I can't live my life this way. The beauty, the literal beauty of the ketogenic diet, and then if you want to blend it with intermittent fasting, you can, is that you're not suffering. You actually feel better with this way of eating than you feel on the stupid American diet, right? That's the beauty of ketogenic diet, is that you feel better, you look better, you sound better, you've got more energy, you've got more mental clarity. That's the thing. And so look at your friends around you who are doing the ketogenic diet and look how much better they feel. Look how much better they look. Look at the cheekbones that they have again. Look at the hourglass they're starting to have again. That should be proof to you that this is working. And then another thing that I love about the ketogenic diet is when I see somebody who hasn't been to the office in a year and they're like, hey, I lost 80 pounds doing keto and then I fell off the wagon, right? And I gained back some weight and I'm like, oh man, how much did you gain back? And they're like 16 pounds. And I'm like, dude, how many times have you lost that 60, 70, 80 pounds on one of the old diets? And they're like, yeah, and I gained it all back in 5 more pounds. I'm like, yeah, exactly. And so the ketogenic diet is by far the most powerful weight loss and health optimization tool that just the common man and woman, you sitting there listening to this, you have complete and utter access to this. Nobody can charge you a fee for it. Nobody can charge you a membership. Nobody can say, oh, you've got to pay $49.95 a month to do this. If you're broke as a joke, you can still do the ketogenic diet. If you're completely broke and living in your car, you can still intermittently fast. That's the power of this thing. Is if you're 18 years old, you can do keto and fast. If you're 89 years old, you can do keto and fast. If you got fatty liver, if you're perfectly healthy, it doesn't matter. You can do keto and intermittently fast. And so it's like literally the cat is out of the bag. You don't have to go and pay a membership fee, and you don't have to go and buy a book. It's here. It's right here. It's free. You can start today. Sorry, I got a little on a rant there. I got a little ranty.
I love it when you rant. Rant on. But I did make a note for myself that your amazing, lovely, beautiful wife, Nisha, and I, everyone needs to check out the Facebook Live I did with Nisha on NishaLovesIt.blog. We had a long, amazing conversation about style and fashion, and definitely check that out. Check it out on YouTube, and check out Nisha's blog. I'm going to put in the description comments below all of her contact information, her websites, her Insta, her YouTube channel. Check out her YouTube channel. Let's get her YouTube channel more likes than Dr.
Hey, that would make my day. That would make me very happy. I don't care.
Going back to the calories part, it says, someone wrote this and I was so excited. It says, I've been on the keto diet for 3 weeks along with intermittent fasting. My wife and I have lost 15 pounds each. Right there, that was like, hallelujah, that's exciting. It says, at the end of the day, I look at what I ate and it ends up being 800 to 900 calories. Can you have too few of calories over a long period?
Great question. So ultimately, if you want to lose weight, you have to burn the calories on your booty and the calories on your belly. That's how you lose weight. There's no magic that happens. You have to burn that weight. And so the old way of doing it is we would calorie restrict each meal, and we would eat tiny little meals multiple times a day, thinking that the calorie deficit would work, right? And there are actually huge medical studies that show that never works. And you can do it, you can calorie restrict for decades. You won't lose any weight, okay? But when you combine your fasting into a fasting window, because if you're eating those little meals all day, your insulin level just keeps going up and up. And every time your insulin level goes up, you stop burning fat on your butt. And that's what we're all after if you're trying to lose weight, right? You're trying to burn that booty off, and you cannot do that if you're eating 6 small meals a day, but very tiny calories, like the little 100-calorie little crap snacks that people think that they're doing something. That's dumb. Don't do that. It's a waste of money. So, but when you do this thing, a lot of people now, sometimes I'll eat 3,000 or 4,000 calories in a day, depending. Like when I get into the ribeye, honey, you just can't hardly stop me, okay? But I still don't gain weight because the calories don't matter. And when you wind up eating 800-900 calories a day, you're still going to lose weight because the calories don't matter, okay? But yeah, when you're eating 800 or 900 calories a day, are you full? Are you satisfied? And if you're like, well, yeah, I was full all day, I wasn't hungry at all, then congratulations, welcome to the ketogenic diet. Right. The whole point is to burn the fat on your booty, and some people have to have very low macros like that in order to do that. Some people don't, and so it's a difference in people. But if you're satisfied, if your energy level's good, if you're not hangry or hungry, that's it. That's a win. That's at least a triple, if not a home run. So yeah, don't complain about that. Look up and say thank you, and keep on living your life.
Love it. Love it. Love it. If you're just joining us, Dr. Ken is my keto expert, and he's yours too. He's our keto medical doctor. Go check out his #1 Amazon best-selling book. It's in the description, and also his YouTube channel, Dr. Ken D. Berry, MD. We have a couple of things I want to hit on. Gallbladder. We are going to hit back on kids on keto. We talked about that on our last, and we're following back up with that because you gave us a week to kind of ponder that. But gallbladder. Let's talk about that for a minute. We talked about it last time. It says, I myself and so many other people no longer have a gallbladder. Ask Dr. Berry to make an entire 10-minute video discussing the topic. I know you can't do keto with no gallbladder. However, I have a million questions. Example, is the weight loss much slower not having your gallbladder? Should I take Oxbile? It's Oxbile. What can I expect? Tell me more about the gallbladder.
So guess what after I got finished with patients today, I went upstairs at the Berry Clinic and I sat down at my desk and I made a video. Guess what it was about?
Is it on the gallbladder?
Yeah, but it's not. I still got to edit it. It'll be up sometime later this evening, so you guys will be watching for that. And it's maybe a little over 10 minutes, but I go into detail about. But I'm going to give you guys the answer. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. The answer is if you don't have a gallbladder, yeah, you can do the ketogenic diet. Okay, you totally can, and you can totally rock it and succeed it. But, and I'll sum it up here so you can watch the video and it won't be too redundant. You have to come at it slower, and you have to start lower with the fat, because the bile in your gallbladder, right? Your liver makes it and stores and concentrates it in your gallbladder. The bile helps digest the fat, or that's one of its main jobs, is to help digest the fat. It's not the only thing needed, but it plays a huge part in emulsifying the fat, breaking it up into tiny little particles, and then other things jump in and help. So when you don't have a gallbladder to store up and concentrate that bile, your liver has to ramp up production of bile, and the bile won't be as concentrated. Hey, Misha Berry, and the bile won't be as concentrated when it does go into your small intestine. It goes into the first part, the duodenum, which down in the South we call the duodenum, but yeah, the duodenum. And so that's a doctor joke. Only doctors are like, damn, right now, okay? Because every doctor's like,
did you hear the air horn?
Okay, so anyway.
He's playing at a comedy club near you.
If you don't have that concentrating storage ability of the gallbladder, because some surgeon got paid to take the gallbladder out, well, I'm going to have another video about should you have your gallbladder out. We'll talk about that another day. But you can't eat that one meal a day that's super mega fat like some of us can with a gallbladder, because if you do, here we go, Countess, you ready? If you do that, you eat that heavy fat load, you're going to be going to the bathroom, right? You're going to have GI distress. You're going to have gastro.
Take a shot. Dr. Ken and his poop.
Okay, the poop reference. But you might have diarrhea. You might have gas. You might have bloating because fat. What was the pill that was popular, the weight loss pill? Was it Olestra? No, not Fin. The one, Orlistat.
Olestra.
Yeah. Remember, if you took that, it basically kept you from absorbing any fat. And then you ate too much fat?
Yeah.
What happened? Exactly. Okay, so that's...
You would
crap your pants.
That's right.
And it was orange, like fluorescent orange cartoon crap. It was. I never did it, but I was in the ER as an ER doctor at that time, and I had a couple of women come in like, I'm dying. I don't know what just happened. And they would like show me, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, you're taking Orlistat, right? And they're like, how'd you know? But yeah, so I've seen everything. That's why poop does not bother me at all. So you have to come at the ketogenic diet, and you'll probably have to split your meals up into 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day. You can still keep them in a constricted feeding window of 6 or 8 or maybe 10 hours, but you can't eat that 1 meal a day. Like you can't sit down like I'm going to tonight and eat 3 pounds of ribeye, because you would crap yourself. Yeah. But you can't start there. Okay. Let me re-say that. You can get there, but you can't start there. But as you slowly do more and more keto, more and more fat, your liver's going to ramp up production of bile, right? And eventually, you may never be able to eat 1 meal a day, but you will be able to eat 2 meals a day and do strict keto and not have the gastrointestinal distress that you may have had when you first tried to start it. So yes, absolutely, 100%, you can do keto without a gallbladder. And everybody, please, if you know somebody that doesn't have a gallbladder, share this with them, because there are so many people out there going, Dadgummit, I don't have a gallbladder. And they're like, they can't do keto, and you totally can.
You totally can. Well, we have some folks who are joining us. Hi, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Low Carb. This is Dr. Ken. He is the keto doctor expert, in my humble opinion. I'm coining it. He is the. So everybody needs to check out his YouTube channel. We have an ongoing joke that he talks about poop, that we take a shot of water. But Becky and Kayla, to answer your question, do the keto diet. Do the keto diet. I've lost 50 pounds. I have another 50 pounds to go. I look a little puffy tonight. It was a rough night with my 2-year-old last night, so I'm a little puffy, but it really does make your cheekbones sounds
Yeah.
accentuated.
Now,
It really
if
does
somebody
make a
wants to, they
difference.
can take a supplement called ox bile. That's what they were referring to. And basically
That's what she was
that
referring
helps you
to.
digest the
Okay.
fat. But ultimately, I don't think you'll need that. But you may need it for the first week or 2 or 3 until your liver is able to ramp up
Okay.
productions. Hey, Gunye, how you doing? But eventually, I bet you won't need it. But you can get ox bile supplement on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. Okay. Yeah. And you
You
could,
can.
I
Oh,
think you may
great.
have, yeah, post the
I'm
link.
going to
Yeah,
post it in
post
the
the link.
description below. I'll
Post the
post
link
a
to that.
link.
But
I'll
that,
post
for
a
a lot
link.
of people, that helps tremendously.
Do enzymes help no
I think
gallbladder?
that's what they mean. They may be talking about pancreatic enzymes, and they might help a little, but they probably won't.
Okay.
Some people who have bad chronic pancreatitis probably don't need to eat a very strict ketogenic diet. And because sometimes if your pancreas is just not making the enzymes, but if you started taking Creon or some of the other pancreatic enzymes, then you might be able to do keto. Yeah, maybe. Very, very likely.
John, we talked about intermittent fasting extensively in our last video, so I'm going to refer you. I'll put it in the description link below how you can get those. There's two.
Yes,
It's a
John, I do fast. I
about that.
fast every day. I
Yeah.
intermittently fast every day. And so I ate last night at 8 p.m., 7 p.m., somewhere in there. And I ate when I got home today at 4 p.m. And so I drank ice water and sipped on bulletproof coffee for that entire time if I wasn't asleep, right? And so yes, you totally can do it every day. Some people don't like doing it every day, and you don't have to. There's other methods of doing it. There's other ways to do it, but I like doing it every day.
Good. Hormones. Can we talk about estrogen dominance? Is there possible for menopausal women? How in the world to get your doctor to check your hormone levels? Is there a test for cortisol? There's more. A bunch
So
of
hormones are a very complicated issue, and no one understands. Just regular people, you can't even begin to understand hormones because many doctors don't understand. Even some endocrinologists I've talked to who are supposed to be hormone specialists, I ask them a question. I'm like, dude, are you serious right now? You don't, I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, hormones are very complicated. And so if your doctor's not comfortable checking your hormones and optimizing your hormones, trust that about your doctor. It's like if your car wouldn't start and you're like, hey doc, will you look at my car? That'd be a bad idea. You don't want me tinkering under the hood because I suck at that. So you wouldn't want me to do that. You would want me to refer you to somebody who knew what they were doing, or you'd want to go find a mechanic. And so if your doctor's very uncomfortable, if you can just tell when you talk about cortisol and check my progesterone level, if he's like, yeah, you may need to look on a website called the Paleo Physician Network. And there's a network, and I'm on there, and there's thousands of doctors who tend to think more like me than the average doctor does. Because if a doctor knows about and understands the paleo diet, then he's going to know about keto as well. And if he knows about that, then he's going to kind of know about bioidentical hormones and optimization and all that stuff. And then there's another website called Stop the Thyroid Madness that has a bunch of information about thyroid, basically, but also some adrenal. And there's a list of labs on there that you can ask your doctor for, and you can print it out and take it to your doc. But also there's a list of doctors on there, hundreds of doctors who think the way I do, and you might be able to find a doctor on one of those two websites near you. And so you could, if you love your doctor, you could go see him when you get a sinus infection, but then go see this other doctor to get your hormones optimized. You know, go see him if you have a diarrhea issue or something, Chad. Right?
I love it.